Hello, entrepreneurs. Welcome to another episode of Entrepreneur Fundamentals. My name is Robert Bitto. Today we're going to talk about the story of the Frog Prince and how that applies to you as a business owner, specifically with regard to your customers. Well, we know the story of the Frog Prince. There was a princess and she met a frog and then kissed the frog, and the frog turned into a handsome prince. The original old German fairy tale, though, had her throwing the frog up against the wall in disgust, and then the frog turned into a prince. But I think the Disney people got a hold of that story and cleaned it up a little bit. Well, I'm not advocating throwing your customers up against the wall or anything like that, but that story applies to how you should deal with your customers, especially in the very beginning when you first meet them. You might have a customer walk through the door, and when people walk through the door, your tendency is to assess them. You know, what kind of a person is this? Will they buy from me? Is there danger? You know, you just go through it all rapidly, you know, maybe even subconsciously in your mind. You're going over what this person could be. And I think we do that with anyone we meet. But as a business owner, if you have a store, let's say if you're that example I use, that furniture store in Iowa, someone comes in your store and you're going to, look them up and down and assess them. But you know what? It doesn't really work. It's like the Frog Prince. You can have a customer come in and look kind of shabby, look almost homeless or whatever, and they could be one of your best customers. Here's an example. I had a few retail stores in Phoenix. Store number 2 was pretty big, and it wasn't in a very good neighborhood. It was in an up-and-coming neighborhood, which I do not advise you to locate your business in one of those. That's the topic of another video, but it was up and coming. I was there, putting in my dues for the first year or so, hoping that it was going to be revitalized and all that stuff. But in the meantime, I had to deal with hookers and trash being thrown on my property, people digging up my plants, homeless like you would not believe, coming in and pestering me and my customers, and the list goes on. So some guy walks in and he was pretty shabby. His pants were really dirty and his shirt was all covered in splotches and stuff like that, and he was very tanned, like a leather-faced tan, like he'd been living on the street for years. His hair was all messed up and everything. And so he came, and I was like, oh great, cha-ching, no sale. But the guy started to take masks off the wall and bring them up to the register. He was very polite and said, can I put these here? I'm still shopping. I'm like, okay. And I was kind of curious as to what was happening. And then it was all said and done, and he had about $500 worth of merchandise that he was going to buy. And so he pulled out a big wad of cash and paid me cash. And when you're in business, cash is the most beautiful thing for a number of reasons. But anyway, so he paid and was on his way. And when he walked out the door, I helped him with his packages. And I noticed the name on the side of the truck that he was driving, this brand new big truck. I'm not a truck person, so I don't know what make and model it was, but it had his name, the name of a company on it. And I said, oh, you work for them? And he said, no, I'm the owner of that company. And I've seen that name of that company attached to skyscrapers being built in Phoenix. This guy was very wealthy. He had lots of discretionary income to be throwing around in my store. And so the point is, you never know when the frog is going to turn into a prince. I was in a store once, a silver store, and there were 3 people helping me. And this was in Mexico, actually. This was in Tijuana. And I had 3 people helping me. I was looking at some silver pieces, and a customer walked in the door, and I said, if you need to, you can help help that woman who just came in. And then the young girl, she was maybe in her late teens, she looked at me and she said, "Oh no, she's poor. She's not going to buy anything." Well, I don't know how you can tell. I mean, I think I'm a pretty good judge of character, but I have been so surprised by people. I've been surprised by uber wealthy people trying to dicker around with me on the price to try to get $2 off. Millionaires, doing that sort of thing with me, driving Jaguars. Oh, this carving is $22. Will you take 20 for it? What? You're driving a Jaguar. But as my aunt said, maybe that's why she's driving the Jaguar. Yeah, right. Okay, whatever. But back to what I'm saying. The bottom line, the lesson learned here from this Frog Prince story is, initially, treat all your customers the same. The dust will settle later. I mean, if you have some people coming in over and over again and they're really cheap and they're belligerent, or if they come in dressed really down and they spend lots and lots of money, then you know where your attention should go once you have established what kind of customer that person is. But until then, when they walk through the door, you treat them all the same. You give them the highest level of service and highest level of attention, because you never know when that frog will turn into a prince. And you don't even have to throw him up against the wall to find out. Anyway, that's all I have to say on that subject. So please like and subscribe. I appreciate your watching my videos and leaving comments and giving me feedback. It helps me provide better videos to you. Any topics you want me to cover, please let me know. And until next time, remember to work hard, and may all of your entrepreneurial dreams come true.